Hi. My name's Wirt. I'm Wirt. I'm Wirt. And this is a pumpkin. I'm Wirt. And I am not wearing my cape. Hi. I'm Wirt. And this is the 20th time I'm filming this. Good job, Wirt. You're doing a good job. Hi. My name's Wirt, and I'm starting a vlog because the leader of my theater troupe told me I needed to work on my public speaking skills and thought that if I started making videos for online that I would be better at speaking. So I'm going to be carving a pumpkin today and talking about my feelings and reading some poetry, some of my favorite poetry about autumn. So I've decided to carve a pumpkin today because it's almost Halloween, which is the 1-year anniversary of the time my little brother and I almost died by drowning in a river. And I had some vivid hallucinations of the afterlife. At least that's what the doctors told me happened. And I've been told to try embracing the Halloween spirit because they think it'll help me get over it. Which I think I'm fine. I don't think I need to. I think I took a lot of inspiration from my poetry from that. So it's okay. But I would like to work on my public speaking so that way I will get the role of Hamlet in our next theater production. When I had the so-called hallucination of the afterlife, the skeletons wore these pumpkin suits, and at first, Greg and I thought that the pumpkins were the creatures, and they took us as prisoners for destruction of their property and made us dig holes where their skeleton friends came out and put on these pumpkin suits. And that's how we found out that they were pumpkin men instead of, well, skeleton men instead of pumpkin men. They say it was seasonally induced hallucinations. I got invited to a Halloween party this year. They didn't invite me last year. No one ever invited me places until I almost died. And then, turns out almost dying makes people think that you're cool. Maybe it's the darkness in everyone. We're all a little fascinated with death. Oh, I forgot, when you carve a pumpkin, you need to carve it inwards. Do you have a favorite Halloween movie? Like watching Edward Scissorhands. Though I guess it's a bit of a Christmas movie. Corpse Bride is good too. Mostly I prefer to read poems this time of year. Classical literature. All the other kids like to go to parties, but I think I'd rather read books on my own, don't you know? Alright, so while I work on scooping out the guts of this pumpkin, I'm going to read some autumn poetry. This is To Autumn by John Keats. O seasons of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless, with fruits the vines that round the thatch eaves run, to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd and plump the hazel shells, with sweet kernel to set the budding more, and still more ladder flower to the bees, until they think warm days will never cease, for summer has brimmed their clammy cells. Who hath not seen thee oft amid thy store? Sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on the granary floor, thy hair soft lifted, by the winnowing wind, or on half-reaped furrows sound asleep, drowsed with the fume of poppies, while they hook, spares the next swath and all its tined flowers, and sometimes, like a gleaner thou dost keep, steady thy laden head across a brook, or by cider press with patient look. Thou watchest the last oozings hours by hours. Where are songs of spring? Aye, where are they? Think not of them, thou hast thy music too, while barred clouds bloom the soft dying days, and touch the stubble plains with rosy hue, and then wailful choir the small gnats born among river sours. No, among the river sallows borne aloft, or sinking as the light wind lives or dies, and full-grown lambs loud bleat from the hilly bourne. Hedge crickets sing now with treble soft, and the red-breast whistles from the garden loft, and gathering swallows twitter in the skies. It's a nice poem. It's a little basic. We experienced some technical difficulties, and now the candles have gone out, so I'm gonna relight those. I asked you guys some questions on Instagram to see if anyone had anything they wanted to ask, and I didn't get any questions, except for Greg, who told me to tell some frog facts. Well, I don't know anything about frogs, so sorry, I guess. Disappointed everyone. Maybe I could sing? I don't know what I'd sing, though. Don't want me to sing anyway. I'm not even that good at clarinet. It's really all I can do. Clarinet and mumbling poetry to myself. And I've broken up some of these pumpkin seeds. I don't want to get my hands dirty. Why do people carve pumpkins? I know it's like tradition. I know I don't really like parties, but it would just be nice to get invited to hang out with some friends on Halloween instead of being made to go trick-or-treating with my little brother, though I've grown a certain new fondness for him ever since we almost died together. Maybe I should practice my Hamlet audition. Sounds like a good plan. Greg, that's disgusting! Get out of the room, Greg! I'm trying to film! It's for my drama class! I am auditioning for the role of Hamlet for our school play. I probably won't get it. Jason Thunderburger always gets the good roles. Jason Thunderburger. You know, I was finally getting somewhere with Sara, and Jason Thunderburger's always there every time we're alone. I hate him. He's so cool, too. He's in theater, and the yearbook, and the mathletes. He's just good at everything. Alright, so here is To Be or Not to Be from Hamlet by William Shakespeare. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep no more, and by asleep to say we end the heartache of 1,000 natural shocks, that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death... It turned off. There we go. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes the calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, throw oppressors wrong, proud man's contumely, the pangs and despers of love, the law delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns, the patient merit of unworthy takes, when he himself might his acquaintance make with bare bodkin, who with fardels better, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, to undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller's return puzzles the will. I've lost my space. I have to start from the beginning. To be or not to be, that is the question. Is that too much? To be or not to be, that is the question. That feels better. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind. I think I have to get into the space. So, Hamlet is unsure whether or not to kill himself. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, my shoulder just cocked, and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep perchance to dream. I've skipped some bits. To die, to sleep, no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and 1,000 natural shocks. The flesh is heir to, 'tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come. I had a dream last night. It's about a bluebird. I know the doctors said that it was a hallucination from the cold, and from our brains turning off. But I can't help but wonder if Beatrice is still out there, or if she was ever out there. There's a man named Quincy Endicott who was buried in our graveyard in town. And the doctors say that's where I got the idea for him, in my brain. But sometimes I wonder, I still feel like maybe the beast is watching over, that we're living on borrowed time now. But there's no point in thinking about that, is there? Still have to graduate and get a job, become an adult, and then die. And then when that all happens, I'll see if it's all real or if it's not. What should I carve this into? I'm thinking about carving it into one of those little pumpkin men that I saw in the other world. I've gotten all the guts out of the pumpkin now. There's a sticker on the best part of the pumpkin that won't come off. Why would anyone put a sticker on the best side of a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin? I'm really hoping if I get the role of Hamlet in the school play that Sara will like it. If Jason Thunderburger gets it, then Sara might like it and decide that he's better than me after all. Jason Thunderburger. He's all funny looking. Oh well, makes sense that a pumpkin of mine would be funny looking. Can't all be cool like Jason Thunderburger. Alright. This is what I'm making. A little pumpkin face. Gonna make him into a little pumpkin friend. What's your favorite Halloween song? What's a Halloween song? Are there any Halloween songs that aren't from movies? I have this song I remember from learning in kindergarten. Everything is black and gold tonight. Yellow pumpkins, yellow moon, yellow candlelight. That's sort of a Halloween song. Though I never heard it again. The Monster Mash. Witch Doctor. Okay, I guess there are a lot of Halloween songs. Well, that was a journey. Well, here we have one really sad, pathetic looking eye for a sad, pathetic pumpkin for a sad, pathetic boy. There we go, we have 2 eyes. 2 little eyes on this little pumpkin man. This is The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remembered, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly had I sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden who the angels name Lenore, nameless here for evermore. And the silken, sad, and certain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now to the still of beating of my heart I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is it, and nothing more." I really feel like carving pumpkins felt easier as a child. I am old now. Maybe we should read some Alice in Wonderland. Very whimsical. It's not quite spooky, but it's nice. Nice poetry. "You are old, Father William," the young man said, "and your hair has become very white. And yet you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think at your age it is right?" "In my youth," Father William replied to the son, "I feared I might injure my brain. But now that I'm perfectly sure I have none, why I do it again and again." "You are old," says the youth, "as I have mentioned before, and you have grown most uncommonly fat." This is a very rude child. "And yet you turned a back somersault in the door. Pray, what the reason is that?" "In my youth," said the sage, as he shook his grey locks, "I kept all my limbs very supple. By the use of this ointment, 1 shilling the box. Allow me to sell you a couple." "You are old," said the youth, "and your jaws are too weak for anything tougher than suet. And yet you finished the goose with the bones and the beak. Pray, how did you manage to do it?" "In my youth," said his father, "I took to the law, and argued each case with my wife. And the muscular strength which it gave to my jaw has lasted the rest of my life." "You are old," said the youth. "One would hardly suppose that your eye was as steady as ever. Yet you balanced an eel on the end of your nose. What made you so awfully clever?" "I have strength, 3 questions, and that is enough," said his father. "Don't give yourself airs. Do you think I can listen all day to such stuff? Be off, or I'll kick you down the stairs." All right, well, I think I finished carving the most pathetic little pumpkin in the world. So, there he is, I guess. Thank you for watching. Wish me luck on getting the role of Hamlet in the school play. I probably won't ever make one of these again. However, if you check my channel, I'm releasing an album that is a collaboration with Apollo Cynthius. And it is a full 17-minute long Over the Garden Wall Lo-Fi album. So set your reminders for the premiere, and you can be one of the first people to watch that. And guess, like, and subscribe, and, you know, all the things that you do for social media. And that's it. Yep, there he is. All right. Bye.